All right, thank you for the great introduction, Colin. I can't promise it'll be as exciting as getting any free stuff, but I'll do my best here. So I just graduated class of 2015. I got a double major in sustainability with a focus in energy, materials, and technology with supply chain management. During my time here, I had a little baby, which was Honor Society for Sustainability. And so that's my picture here, and I served on the board for 3 years, and that's what I love to do while I was there. I was also an intern for IO Data Centers, where I was going to work with some other sustainability alumni, Kevin Zeck, on bringing sustainability into technology. A little shout out to Colin. One of my favorite classes was U.S. Energy, where we got to take the classroom more to the real world and be able to apply what we'd see energy in the future in the next 50 years. And some of my interests during my 4 years was really focusing on how we can bring sustainability into the corporate world and apply energy to that. So a little bit about Rolls Royce. I know all of you guys think that this is a car company and that I was going to show up in a Phantom, but that is not the case. I actually work for Rolls Royce Aerospace, and they separated from motor cars in 1970, actually owned by BMW now. But we do civil aerospace, so most famously, the Boeing 787 Dreamliner has a Rolls Royce engine. Do a lot of defense work with the U.S. government, Marine. So basically taking the jet engine and applying that a lot bigger and putting it in a ship is what we do for Marine. Small scale nuclear, and then power systems, which is a highly efficient energy propulsion engine that is being applied to trains and large vehicles. So how does Rolls-Royce have anything to do with sustainability? One of the key quotes that I got from it was that having engineering playing a critical role into the environmental and societal changes the world faces, so really looking at better power. And how I'm involved here for the propulsion engines in aerospace is I do a lot of logistics, supply chain, design, and in some of the manufacturing. So my experiences, I started out as an intern at the Supply Chain Management Career Fair, talked to a rep there, and was able to go out to Indianapolis for a summer in 3 months and learn a little bit about purchasing. Wasn't directly related to sustainability. But then I started this summer as a planning and control graduate, which is just a really fancy name, and basically means I change my job every 3 to 6 months, so I'm not really held accountable. So I've been able to move about and learn breadth and experience all the different pieces of the company and understand how it works. So I'm in that right now. I'm in supply chain design there, and I'll be moving to San Francisco in July, which I'll be working in their manufacturing overhaul and repair facility. So basically when your car needs to go into the shop, it's the same sort of thing with jet engines. So a big project that I worked on, or I've been working on in the logistics department, and this is how I relate sustainability to all of this, if you've been wondering this whole time, is so the company holds itself accountable for a couple metrics. There's CO2 emissions, energy, waste, and water. But I saw that there was something big missing. We outsource a lot of things that we do, such as transportation and warehousing, and we were not holding them accountable for the same metrics. So that's where I came in and worked with some of our third-party logistics company and trying to track what their output was. And so I can't show you any actual data, but I can do this fake little bar chart that I put in here. But the first step was to understand the output that they're doing. So, for example, giving one of our transportation companies looked into it, and 1 month to the next, they saw that their CO2 emissions were twice as much, and that was just based off of all the expedites that they've been doing, and they didn't even know this. So it's just looking into that, and so understanding what the numbers are here, but also what the factors or drivers are that pushing that, so that you know how have improvements. And these are just some of the examples that our logistics companies are starting to do. And once that this baseline is created, it's then to have goals, as in 5% reduction in the next year. That's the next step in this process. And then I wanted to touch on one of the things that was lessons learned for me after graduation was that I was starting this company without a sustainability job title, without a company that focuses in sustainability, but I didn't want to lose my identity, and so I reached out into a church I joined, and I took part in the green team. And so I've done a lot of change with the green team, and I don't want that to be forgotten, that this is all just about what you do in your job, because it's bigger than that. It's what you do with your life. And so some of the exciting things I've done with them is we have a utility company called Indianapolis Power and Light, and they offer to have your house being powered by 100% renewable Indiana wind farms. And so we've signed a third of our congregation up for this. Also hosted a workshop of why eat less meat, just educating people a little bit about what, not to be necessarily vegetarian, but the impact that meat has, and to be able to just understand that you can just consume less and make a big difference. Wrote a $10,000 grant for solar panels. It's still pending, so I'm not sure if we won. We'll see. I've attended a couple rallies here. You think of Indiana as a very conservative state, and can't imagine that any rallies happen, but some of the things we've done is for HB 1082 for clean drinking water, and I know you've heard a lot about Flint, Michigan, and there's been similar things in Indiana, so pushing for that, and then creating a butterfly garden for Earth Day. So all in all, some of my lessons learned that I've had from this experience since graduation just a year ago is what I touched on, is that you don't need sustainability in your title. And just to be that annoying person in your job and constantly talking about it over and over. And so they're like, fine, go ahead and work on that project, just shut up. So that's kind of how I got my way into doing that. And then sometimes making the decision to go to Rolls Royce was hard for me, because I felt like this is a company that's not in their forefront. I don't know if I can really add value here. I'm just gonna be another person in the company. And I think that's where you can actually add the most value, is companies that don't seem to care, and just talking to them about it and seeing that you can make a difference in those sort of companies. And also that your job doesn't define you. Maybe if you're in a position you're not crazy about right now, doesn't mean you can't do other things in sustainability and make a big difference. All right.